Right now on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs, we're hitting a delicious destination in the heart of Kentucky bourbon country.
It doesn't get any better than this.
It's the historic Harrison Smith House, where the food is as old-fashioned as the building itself.
It was built around 1780.
Come with us, behind the scenes in the kitchen, as the chef reveals his secrets to putting Kentucky twists on fine dining.
Everything here is addicting.
A Euro-style fish dip made with Kentucky catfish.
Everything is incredible, just working together.
Schnitzel that's countrified with bluegrass-raised pork and beans.
Look at that.
Plus, all the secrets to the Harrison Smith House's famous Parker house rolls. All that and an old-fashioned that lives up to the lofty standards of a master distiller. Right now on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs.
Hey there everyone, Tim Laird back with you for another edition of Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs. This time we're in the heart of bourbon country in Bardstown.
And we found a real gem of a restaurant this time. It's the Harrison Smith House, which is rich with history and Kentucky flavor.
100 years old and rich history, outstanding place.
Turns out this is the oldest stone home in Nelson County. It was built around 1780.
Wow.
If you can see on our back wall here, from the stone side over is the original house, and then where it starts to be brick is the new addition they put on in 1820.
That's the new edition,
Yeah,
1820, that's great.
That's the new edition.
Yeah, brand new, I'll tell you what.
Chef Newman Miller owns the Harrison Smith House with his wife. He's been cooking for a living all of his adult life, all over the world. First at the Brown Hotel in Louisville, then corporate jobs in Scotland and Chicago. Now, this bluegrass-born chef has come back to his roots.
There's a lot of perks in the corporate world, but red tape isn't one of them. And what makes us happiest is we change the menu all the time based on what's great, and there's really nothing to tell us we can't.
The menu changes almost weekly as different ingredients come in fresh from local farms and distilleries.
It's fine dining infused with all of your favorite Kentucky flavors.
And they make everything from scratch, the old-fashioned way, from their famous homemade Parker house rolls.
They're delicious.
To smoked fried chicken
It's a must-have on Wednesday nights.
Really, really smoky chicken.
and Schnitzel, made with farm-fresh Kentucky heritage pork and countrified beans and greens from right down the road.
It was excellent.
All right, we're back in the kitchen here with chef owner Newman Miller. Hello, chef. How are you?
Sir? Good to have you.
Wow, I'll tell you what. I know you've cooked all over the world, but you still have a little Kentucky blood, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I grew up on a tobacco farm in Washington County. So 10 miles from here, I was born in Lexington and then raised in Washington County. So got away for a bit, but yeah, we started having kids. It seemed like nothing better than to come back home and raise them and, you know, do what we know.
Bringing it full circle and right back here. I'll tell you, that is a wonderful thing. And bringing those experiences and add a little flavor with Kentucky.
Right.
And I love this one. It's actually Kentucky catfish, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we get wild Kentucky lake caught catfish. It all comes from Lake Barkley. We bring it in, we brine it for about an hour, and then we take it out of the brine and we smoke it. We have a smoker that we brought up from Georgia, and then we do a really classic European dish. It's called brandade, but we do it with wild Kentucky catfish. It's smoked fish dip.
Catfish is amazing. The Kentucky catfish.
It's outstanding.
Highly recommend it.
Catfish brandade. We're taking a really classic European dish and we're just changing it to suit the products we have.
Okay.
Wild Kentucky caught catfish. We bring it in, we brine it, we smoke it. This is that catfish. It's
Beautiful.
big, beautiful pieces. We put this in a pan with heavy cream and garlic, simmer it,
And this is
then
what it
puree.
comes out
And
to.
this is it
Beautiful
right here.
puree, nice thick sauce. Wow.
And then we take potatoes, and the way we make mashed potatoes here is through a food ricer, food mill. There's no lumps, there never could be a lump.
Great secret to know.
And then really all you're doing is combining the two. So this is the heavy cream garlic and catfish combined with the potato.
With the potato. And look how creamy the texture is.
Smoked fish spread. And I mean, you know what's cool about it is if we brought in different fish, you could use almost anything. So bluegill, I mean, any sort of local fish would work great because once you add the cream and the garlic.
And it's all about the cream and the garlic, and that really makes it, of course, with the potatoes, that goes together with those ingredients as well. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about a combination of love and goodness. I just want a spoonful of that right now. This is all you need.
Yeah, absolutely. We would serve it to you for sure.
I love your presentation because you have this individual cast iron serving dish where the dip is going to go in, but also you recycle your menus. Nothing gets thrown away here. Everything's recycled, kind of the bottom. And you said you love your guests to read some of the past menus.
It's nice. It just shows them that, we constantly are changing our menu, and, sometimes people get upset because they want to come for one dish and it's not there. And we just explain that it wasn't the best dish this week. We really just try to cook what's the best
Keep it
and
fresh,
we can give it
flavor.
to you. Yeah, absolutely. For plate up, we're going to take the brandade and just fill our cast iron. Our chef Josh makes these amazing Parker House rolls, and we just turn them into croutons. So we're going to serve this brandade with croutons. We're going to put a little bit of salted radish because the sharpness of that radish is really nice because you have so much heavy cream, and then a little bit of chive.
Wow.
And that's our wild Kentucky lake caught catfish brandade.
That looks great. I'll tell you what, with the Parker rolls repurposed as kind of the crouton, if you will. Can I take a dip?
Please, yes.
It smells absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to get a good dip on there. Boom, just like that. Get a good bite. Oh, wow. The creaminess. I get a little bit of the garlic, the potato. Everything is incredible, just working together. No double dipping, but I might go to the other side. And that's okay. You see, you turn it around, you go to the other side, just like that. Well, awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Incredible. The catfish dip is amazing, but part of what makes it so good are those croutons made from old school Parker House rolls. Parker rolls, yeast rolls, many names, but many uses. We'll share the secrets to those coming up. Plus, local pork turns into Schnitzel, and it doesn't get any better than this.
There is nothing better.
All that and an old-fashioned made like a distiller would drink it.
You'll make all the distillers happy.
It's all ahead from the kitchen at Bardstown's Harrison Smith House on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs.
Welcome back to Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs. I'm Tim Laird, and this time we're at a place where you can actually taste history, the Harrison Smith House.
The restaurant is inside the oldest stone house in Nelson County, and now it's home to some of the best food and drink in the state.
I love the atmosphere.
It's really neat.
You walk inside, you get that nice smoky smell to it.
The Harrison Smith House is surrounded by some of the world's best distilleries and some of the best farmland in the country.
Those farm fresh Kentucky flavors show up on every plate. And being in Bardstown, you can also taste some of the world's rarest bourbons.
You can get a lot of things that a lot of other restaurants don't get, being your headquarters here, so that helps a lot.
We've been really lucky, and we have a lot of master distillers that decide to come here and eat multiple times a week with their families.
And here's a taste of what they're feasting on. Kentucky-style Schnitzel that's full of local flavor.
We're gonna make a Schnitzel. Now, tell me, Chef, what is actually a Schnitzel?
So a Schnitzel classically would be a piece of pork or veal that's been pounded very thinly, breaded. A lot of times it'll be pan-fried classically, and served with a little bit of lemon and salt, and then various accompaniments. Depends on what type you are getting. For us, the Schnitzel is a thin piece of pork that we fry.
Okay.
We kind of throw out the tradition of it. We get really great pork from a local farmer, Ronnie Hill. We bring it in. This is a Berkshire pig that we picked out last week. Yeah, we picked the pig. This is a 372-pound live weight Berkshire hog. And we're really lucky. We have Boone's Butcher Shop right down the street. And it's one of the best sort of full-service butchers in the state of Kentucky. We pound it out thin, and then we put it through a breading process. So it's seasoned flour, and then egg wash, and then the last step is a combination of cornmeal and panko. It's a really nice.
But what a great combination. That's a wonderful secret, because you use both. Either they use cornmeal or they use panko, but you're using both.
Yes, sir.
Trying to give it a whole balance. That's great.
We do a warm potato salad. So we peel, parboil, and so blanch potatoes, and then at service, crisp them up in a pan.
What a
turn 'em
secret
off.
that is. So you get that crunch on the outside, or a nice little texture, but still soft on the inside. Oh,
Yes,
great
sir.
idea.
We do a whole grain mustard vinaigrette. Whenever those are finished, we toss them in the vinaigrette. And then we serve it with our country greens and beans. This is kale greens, mustard greens, lima beans, house-made bacon and onions, and then a little bit of hot sauce and butter. Just wake it up. Sometimes we pickle a lot of our own chilies, and sometimes we'll add pickled chili vinegar. We'll add sriracha. We change it as much as we want to change it, and until we get it exactly right.
Everything's going. Now it's time to drop the schnitzel?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So for the schnitzel, we fry on 360 degrees, a little bit higher than your standard fry. We'll just drop it in very carefully. And this is only going to take probably 90 seconds.
A little secret you're divulging here is 360 degrees. I mean, usually it's 350 a lot of
350
times.
is very common. And another thing, you'll see the oil in our fryer is a little bit dark. We use high oleic canola oil, and we filter it every night because a lot of people think the color of the oil is why you get rid of it or when it's not ready. But it's a big misconception. Like, our oil is very seasoned. So the second you can taste the oil in the food, it's a problem. It means you're not frying things right. But because we use a little bit higher temperature and we filter it every day, we get 3 times the life out of it, but it really doesn't hit its stride until it's a week old. It's like seasoning the cast iron skillet. They cook better after 10 years of seasoning it. Oil cooks better after a week of seasoning it.
Oh.
So there's our final schnitzel. We let it drain for a second, and then we always have a trivet because you want to get it away from any extra oil.
Where you don't want it sitting and soaking in its own oil, this actually has a nice little drip device underneath. It lifts it up.
Look how beautiful golden brown that is.
We're gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit of salt and just a touch of lemon juice.
And with that, everything's ready for the plate. And there's still one more surprise to come. First, the chef puts down some of his warm potato salad with that homemade mustard vinaigrette.
I mean, look at that. That's the way the potatoes should look.
We're gonna go with our country greens and beans next.
Oh, look at that.
So we'll put our country.
Countrify those potatoes right now. Look at that. Even before the schnitzel comes on, this looks absolutely fabulous. Talk about a meal in itself right here.
All right, and so a lot of times in the fryer, we found out these will curl up, but it makes for a perfect home for a fried egg.
Oh!
And then for garnish, we just put a little bit of pickled red onion that we make here in house, and a little bit more chive, and that's the dish.
That is an incredible dish, Chef. I mean, look at all those flavors that's going into it, a lot of love. You know where the eggs came from, you know where the pork came from. Beautiful potatoes, countrified our topping there. This is the dish. By the way, I gotta say, this is your single portion, right? This is what you get served.
Yes, sir.
This size of dish.
It is. It's you know, when we came to Bardstown and reopened, the one thing we wanted to make sure was nobody thought that we were pretentious or stuffy or a fancy restaurant where you couldn't get full. That was, you know, going to be the kiss of death. So we just do our best to put the best flavors forward that we can and be as interesting as possible, but make sure nobody goes home hungry.
There's only one thing missing, Chef, and that is a fork and a knife, but look what I found. So I've got to try this. That beautiful yolk, just to kind of get itself around there. I can see how crispy that schnitzel is right there. Oh, wow. I'll tell you, there is nothing better. That is, I mean, we've got to give it the full downtown Triple Crown. Nothing better. No one goes home hungry. It's you said that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can see why. Awesome job, Chef. Fantastic.
And we're not done yet. Coming up, the secrets to the Parker House rolls at the Harrison Smith House. It doesn't get any more country than this.
We're on a roll.
Plus, how would you make an old-fashioned in the bourbon capital of the world? We'll find out coming up on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs.
Welcome back to Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs. I'm Tim Laird, this time in Bardstown, Kentucky.
We're dining out at the Harrison Smith House, where chef-owner Newman Miller is bringing a world of culinary techniques to classic Kentucky dining.
Cook what tastes good, cook what's right.
He's always changing the menu depending on what's in season for nearby farmers. The selection of wine and craft beer is always evolving too. And of course, being in Bardstown, you can count on a bounty of bourbon, which is a big draw for both tourists and locals.
Try to get the best for our customers.
Being a local himself, Chef Newman loves catering to his neighbors, and that's what Wednesday nights are all about.
Wednesday nights are something special here. You do every Wednesday a little fried chicken dinner, but you do it differently.
They smoke it first, and then they fry it. Oh, the chicken is excellent. It's a must-have on Wednesday nights.
Fried Chicken Wednesday really came out of we wanted something for the local market to come and be able to enjoy, so it's a 3-course menu. It's a super salad that changes weekly, and then our fried chicken dinner part are the country greens and beans that you saw, our potato puree, which is 10 potatoes, a pound of butter, and a quart of cream, roughly. One of Josh's yeast rolls, and then you get a 3-piece chicken dinner. We use Amish chickens out of Indiana. It's one of the products we don't find in Kentucky readily available, but it's an Amish co-op that we buy from, and then we smoke the chickens. But these guys went on at 8 o'clock this morning, so they've had 4 hours. It never went over 2:30. Hickory wood, very low temperature for a very long time. Really, really smoky chicken. And then we chill them overnight. We break them down into pieces, and then when you order it, we dust them in a seasoned flour. So we make a barbecue dry spice. We add that to the flour. We toss the chicken with it. Deep fries, 360 degrees, and then you get to pick whether you want it hot or not.
It's got a hell of a kick to it, this chicken.
It's fire. We really don't have a mild, medium, or kind of hot. We have fried chicken and we have really hot fried chicken.
I like
you
that.
can pick. So,
No in-betweens, just
No, sir.
mild or hot.
The rolls that come with the fried chicken come hot, right out of the oven. Harrison Smith House chef Josh Smouse shows us those.
Some call these yeast rolls, some call them Parker rolls, but you're going to show us the secrets to what you do here because people love these rolls. They go crazy over those. And actually you have several applications, not only for the roll, but you also use it for croutons and some other things.
Bread pudding, both savory and sweet, croutons, anything that we can really come up with.
So it's really an all-purpose roll, right?
It becomes that.
That's great. Well, but you're always starting out with a great base, so you're going to show us the secrets to what you call the Parker rolls here.
Yes.
All right.
So I think the first secret I would share is that I have hot milk and I actually melt the butter into it. I melt it out.
Room temperature butter that
Room
goes
temperature
into the hot milk.
to the hot
okay?
milk, and then what will happen is I'll add the egg whites into it, so you'll have a homogeneous liquid base and a homogeneous dry base.
I mean, this is a method.
Yeah.
You're really incorporating all the butter into the milk.
And then these are the eggs that you saw featured on the Schnitzel. These are from Ronnie Hills Green in Taylorsville, and we use them for the rolls. And we actually, before we were able to get so many of them, this was one of the preferred purposes for them, just for color.
People that go to the store and buy eggs, you don't get this color at all. I mean, it's usually just a light yellow, nothing. This is dark, rich, neon, glowing, beautiful.
And so this is the pre-weigh dry base, which is just all-purpose flour, sugar, salt, and instant dry yeast.
This is one of those expensive mixers that you can get at any restaurant supply store. If
Yeah.
you see this, this is perfect.
This is our bread trough. Drop it in. So this will just get mixed up and incorporated.
Like I said, that comes together pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And see, that's another
Practicing
thing.
it
Instead
daily.
of just one of those big mixer bowls, you're using actually handcrafted Parker rolls. We can say that.
So this is a dough made earlier today and allowed to proof for about 2 hours.
So it just sits on its own, covered up, let it proof itself, get those
Absolutely.
yeast going.
Yes.
That hard-working yeast now at this point, and the sugars and everything else going.
From here, the chef rolls the dough into balls about the size of your palm.
All right, we're having a ball, but we're not done yet.
They get balled up, formed and portioned, and allowed to rise for another 45 minutes or so.
So they go from this size
Yes.
to this size with that
Yes.
second rise.
Yeah, we just cover it again with butter.
Oh,
35 minutes, 350 degrees.
okay. Into the oven.
Into the oven. So it goes in, and then 35 minutes later, you get this.
Look how gorgeous those are. I mean, that's incredible. Handcrafted, every one of them.
You can use these for dinner rolls, croutons, and a lot more.
We use it on sweet and savory bread puddings.
Even sandwiches.
Made sandwiches out of them by using 4 of them cut in half and smashed.
Okay,
And
that's
made
a
into
great
a-
idea. That
made
would be
into a
nice
sandwich. Absolutely.
Oh, we're on a roll. I know your patrons are too. They love it.
I have had the Parker rolls. They're delicious. Butter all over them. You can't go wrong with butter. You know, butter and bread. You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong is right. Doing things the old-fashioned way is always a good secret. And the same holds true for cocktails, in my opinion. Here at the Harrison Smith House, those are handcrafted too. In fact, the drinks are so chef-driven, you'll actually find the bar in the kitchen. So I'm back with Chef Newman, who's now Bartender Newman. And what I love of what you're doing is you're going to take classic cocktails, especially bourbon-based cocktails, and add a little twist to them, make them a little different, still go back to their original roots, if you will.
On our cocktail list since day one, our old fashioned, our house old fashioned is always a barrel-proof bourbon. Now that barrel-proof bourbon has changed. We've been through a lot of different distilleries and you know, utilize different products, but it's always barrel proof.
When you say barrel proof, I mean that means anywhere from 120 to 140 proof. So I mean, you have, that's actually, it's not watered down, it's actually what proof comes out of that aged bourbon barrel.
That's it. If you've been in the rick house and smelled a rick house and smelled what that is and felt that, barrel proof bourbon is the closest relative to that feeling.
Besides the spirit, one of the most important ingredients is the ice.
We just spent more money on our ice machine than we did our hotline. We got a.
There's a secret revealed, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it was wild the day we found out, but it's a Hojisaki ice machine. It's a perfect 1-inch cube. And really the whole purpose isn't to tell people about it, it's that they notice their drink doesn't get watered down. But for our old fashioned, we'll start with a full pour, 1 dash of bitters.
Gotta have the bitters in the old fashioned.
And then simple syrup, equal parts of water and sugar dissolved together, and the secret here, it's never heated.
We stir it until it's completely dissolved, because when you cook the simple syrup, it changes the flavor profile. Yes. And we don't want anything getting in the way of the bourbon.
What a great secret.
Next,
and here's that wonderful
ice. And with all rocks pours at our restaurant, it's 4 cubes of ice.
Perfect.
We stir 100 times. Every barrel proof old fashioned gets stirred 100 times.
Gets 100 stirs. I mean, it's the ideal, optimum. You must have done a lot of tests on this.
We did a lot of research and development to make sure we were putting out the best old fashioned.
I was actually counting on the background. It was 9,900 stopped. I mean, you know this thing.
Yes, sir.
You've done a few of these.
It's like Josh with the rolls.
Right.
You do the same thing every day, the exact same way. You end up getting a feel for it more than anything.
That's great.
So we'll add this to our rocks. And then we just take the orange and we just express the oil over the top of the drink. And the same with the lemon. We're just getting the essential oil out and then dropping them in.
Wow, Chef, this is great. I've got to try it. Oh yeah, that is a great, well-balanced cocktail. You'll make all the distillers happy and proud. An old-fashioned in the bourbon capital of the world, it doesn't get any better than this. Chef, thank you for inviting us into the Harrison Smith House. And I'll tell you what, it is such a beautiful place, historical. You're keeping up. You're doing wonderful things. Wow. Stay with us. You're not leaving us, are you, Chef?
No, sir.
All right, you traveled the world, but you're back in your home roots of Kentucky. You're not leaving us.
No, sir. This is
Don't leave us. All right. Thanks, Chef.
Thank you so much.
That's going to do it for this edition of Secrets. Thanks for coming with us to Bardstown. I'm Tim Laird, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!